All right. Welcome. It is your boy, Jay Willie. I'm here. I'm ready to rock. All right, let's get started. Welcome to the final stream on TradingView. I'll still be active on Zoom, on uh, YouTube, and as well also on Twitch now. Yay. Let's get started by go ahead and dropping your requests in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and share screen. For those that are on Zoom, and basically we're going to get rocking and rolling here in regards to everything that's happening in the digital currency space, and then any other requests that come in. So go ahead and drop requests in the chat. So if you are on TradingView, you're going to need to make sure that you log in order to actually get this sauce. So I'm going to go ahead and share this with the team, and then anybody who is looking to hop on, letting them know that we are here. Fibonacci, ICT, Elliott Wave, Wyckoff. So verse with pretty much all of those, and basically I just pass it on to my team members and basically help them to extract as much opportunities as they can from the market. So with that being said, I'm going to kind of give you my guidance on what I believe BTC is getting ready to do. So I have BTC basically just coming down to make a higher low. Currently right now we are in the middle of what we would refer to as a butterfly pattern. So in regards to a butterfly pattern, I'm going to make sure, go ahead and drop a 1 just to let me know that you can actually see my screen. But basically, what we should be doing according to how this harmonic pattern works is we should at some point, sooner than later, be dropping down to an 886 retracement. So basically, in harmonics, there are a series of patterns, i.e. with Fibonacci levels and time, that you want to factor in when you're making your trade ideas, right? So one of them being this pattern that we've kind of discovered. Shout out to you, Peter. What's up, sir? How you doing? Basically what we're looking for right now is the opportunity.
Recording in progress.
The opportunity to basically find that higher low for BTC. So if you can see here, when I run XA here, we bounce off a 618. So essentially what I'm expecting for Bitcoin is it actually did what I was expecting. I had told the team I'm expecting it to come into the 69.2 to probably like the 70,200 level. And so it really doesn't have to do much more. Yes, I know the buy side's there. Could it like kick up and drop? It could do that. It's probably going to do that. It's very Bitcoin-esque. And then so it would come down and smack that 886. So don't be shocked if BTC's actually at 62K tomorrow morning. Follow for more. Um, so I'm pretty much done with BTC. Like, I know that was very fast, but it's a very simple setup, at least for myself. Um, I wouldn't even be like interested personally in buying this until it comes back into this zone. So again, one of the interesting things about how I trade on these live sessions, I don't BS you guys. I actually give you the real chart. This is the chart. I mean, Peter, you could tell them, is this the chart that I've been showing you guys for the last week and a half? This is the same damn chart, right? So there's no like, oh, let me give this to the VIP and let me show this to the public. No, I'm actually giving you the sauce, right? Yep. So I don't know if you guys can't really see the messages that are coming through on Zoom, but Peter just said yes. Okay, so I ain't capping with y'all, right? So you have two levels, right? And so the market loves to do this to greedy traders. Don't at me. Just listen, okay? The market loves to tease greedy traders. I know, because I used to be one of them, right? So what do I mean when I say that? It's a pretty bold statement. But it loves, I like to call them, it loves to create these liquidity sandwiches, right? So some would call it a trend trap strategy or tomato, but it loves to do this. And so what is this? Well, it loves to create buy side and it loves to create sell side all at the same time and tease you into FOMOing into a swing trade, right? So when I saw it bounce off the 618, I was like, man, like I'm not even excited. And the reason why is because I knew that my harmonic pattern wasn't done. And like I can be completely wrong and this can like fly to 100K overnight, right? But what am I ultimately saying? You have to know what you're looking for, right? And trade your setup. So I actually dropped in um, my Instagram a video just about how to deal with loss, right? So a couple of times in the last, well, not a couple of times, like in regards to scalps, for example, with the indices, they've been really tough lately, right? So realistically, like the indices haven't been indicing in a fancy way. They just kind of been pumping and dumping, pumping and dumping, and we can discuss that if that's a request that people have. But basically, whenever you're in like pump and dumps, really you shouldn't be trading, right? Just to be completely like frank with you, right? But I got caught in some setups that were working, and then you kind of like maybe go outside, maybe go cook something, and then find out it's at your BA. Or worse, it, didn't leave the zone, and then you're like, I really gotta go to the bathroom. Come back 3 minutes later, and the thing hits your stop, right? So the reality is that sometimes the best thing to do, well, most times in consolidation, is just to avoid the thing, like the plague, right? So realistically speaking, the latest I would see BTC finishing its work is up here. And that kind of matches with a lot of other timelines that I'm currently looking at. Okay, cool. So that's my final conjecture on LaBTC. Just understand that you're in the middle of a zone where they are definitely inducing. So we actually did this live on a call, and I said, if we don't stop around like I think it was like 69, they're gonna blow the all-time high. And listen, it's kind of weird, but since I've been doing these trading view streams, somebody could have literally, I think it was back, yeah, it was back here. So imagine like no, I mean, I'm not trying to say that to brag, but the point is that, I mean, these harmonics are really strong. Okay, so all I would say to you is this: don't be shocked if we wick above this number 71,782, or even come into this high around 71,269 and drop on everybody's muffin head. Like, I mean, like vertical drop. Like, they'll be nasty about it. They won't be nice. They'll be nasty about it because it needs to catch everybody off guard. And one of the things about the butterfly pattern, as with the deep crab, that B to C leg is usually nasty. And guess when they would probably do this? They'd probably pull this off during some sort of London Judah swing. So be aware of this. I would say midweek, we could like slowly climb and then just vertical drop. Now, what would be the reason why we would potentially drop? Okay, cool. So I'm going to actually go ahead and see if I can get TradingView to share what I'm about to show you. Okay, so it's always important to actually keep in mind that we also have news. So doing my best to make it so that you can see this. I don't know how well it's going to go. But we have news, really big news, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So let's go back to our chart. And so isn't it funny that the Fibonacci time says Thursday? Wait a minute. Yo, wait, hold up. So you mean to tell me that this tool that was created possibly hundreds of years ago is magically predicting when the news is, or when a major reaction is, that conveniently lines up with the economic news? I'm gonna just sip my juice. Listen, y'all gonna learn today. So, ooh, that was spicy. So yeah, basically, don't be shocked if this plays out. Okay? I got my water. So the other option is we just go long, right? Because this could just be X to A to B to C, and it could just crank. But don't be shocked if they kind of like accumulate this, manipulate this, and then distribute. AMD, follow for more. So let me go ahead and share that with those that are just climbing on in right now. I'm going to put that in the chat, but this is kind of what I'm looking for in terms of BTC. Okay, so I'm targeting 62K for potential swing. So I don't have a buy there, right? But I will narrate this. The only reason why I don't have a buy is because it's major economic news, right? So I don't put limit orders per se on a live account. You can do that on a paper account. But what you could do is do what I'm about to show you, okay? Now that's a little bit of a pro tip, what I just gave you. Like going into economic news, it's not advisable to have limit orders unless you've kind of already calculated your risk reward, right? So I'm going to actually show you what it is that I would do. So I'm expecting them to sweep this, no questions asked, right? But based on this harmonic pattern, I don't want to see anything break this low, right? That's just how it works. So realistically speaking, again, there's no guarantees, but what I would do is use the math against the market makers. That's essentially what I do. I just use math against what they're doing. I work in tandem with them, right? And you also have to think like them. They want to blow stop losses, but they also need to give people money so that they feel as if they won, right? So we're like talking about like trading psychology here. When there's a lot of people winning, right? That's when a lot of people are about to lose. Oh man, let me say that again. When there's a lot of people winning, that's when a lot of people are about to lose. So what is a part of the industry right now where a lot of people are winning? I'll give you I'll give you 10 seconds to kind of drop in the chat what classification of digital currency has a whole bunch of 17-year-olds running around with money phones right now. Tell me in the chat which space in digital currency is causing a lot of people to make a lot of money very quickly and absurdly. Any ideas? Got one answer here. Altcoins? I think it's more specific than that, Peter. I'm gonna have to give you the answer. It's meme coins, right? So there's a lot of inexperienced traders. I saw a video uh, with this African grandma, and she was at the market, and this lady kind of rolled up on her and was like, "Do you have your?" I think it was like, I don't know, fluffy coin, and she was like, "Yeah, right here," and like this grandma who literally like was selling like, I don't know, knitted hats, knew about fluffy coin, but has like possibly no understanding, and this is just an analogy of how, smart contracts work or what Bitcoin is even. And so we have an industry right now which is being flooded with meme coins that have essentially zero utility, however, are creating a lot of riches. I wouldn't call it wealth, because wealth is sustainable and riches can come and go, right? And so, unfortunately, we've seen this story before. If you've been through 2017 and 2021, you know when things happen fast like that for inexperienced traders, it's about to end really fast for them. It could be in the form of regulation. It could be in the form of sort of like tech issues or networks, excuse me, being down. It could come in the form of exploits, i.e. hacks, right? But I'm not trying to down like the meme space. We bagged 1700% on Pepe, but that was a strategic play after a pump, right? So what's the difference with the way that I kind of manipulate like meme coins? I do it from a strategic mathematical standpoint after the hype's already over. I take it more from like a mathematical and like sort of like a calculated fashion, as opposed to like aping into a coin and dropping $1,000 into something I've never heard of that can easily be rug pulled. I actually wait for the rug pull, unfortunately. I wait for that early like rush. I maybe test it on futures. Like I'm giving so many jewels there, but I mean it's really like who's receptive and who has their pen out versus like who's, just kind of casually watching this. Like I watch all the fluff at the beginning and I let it fly, and then I hop in for the projects that actually make sense and look like they have some sustainable inflow of cash coming in, right? So there's a lot of things you have to look at. So I feel like I need to talk to the whole meme space because, man, there's like a bunch of blind people literally like leading the blind. Like people who can't trade really, like they're just looking at charts and saying, oh, it's down, and then they're buying. But the problem is they're actually telling 5,000 other like 15 to 30-year-olds to do the same thing. And so I'm just trying to clear the air. Like I know for sure something's gonna happen. It doesn't last like this for forever. So ball out, buy your Solana meme coins, buy your Uniswap projects, but know that something's going to come. The whales are going to come and take their money. And when they take their money, listen, it's going to be noticeable. They put the money in, and then when they extract that ish, ooh, it's going to be nasty. It's going to get bloody. So know that the intelligent investors are actually more than likely on the sidelines right now. Not for all of them. Some of them already got super bloody. Like they dropped like 70, 90%. We're in some of them. I ain't giving everything away, right? But the point is, if something's too high, and if your grandma knows about it, listen to me. That's a sign right there. So that's what we want. What are the things that you want to see? First of all, you don't want to see this thing coming to the edge of your stop. You want to see it like stop and accumulate in this zone, right? So we want to see accumulation in this zone, right? We don't want to see a fast move slamming into this entry, right? We want to see it stop, accumulate, then manipulate, take out the sell side, and then we'll look for a distro. So make sure you see accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution back up to blow all of the buy side. They're going to blow all this, trust me. It's just a matter of how they decide to do it. Either they go vertical up, or they're going to come down, liquidate all of these early buyers, which would make the most sense. They're going to liquidate the sellers, then liquidate all of the buyers, and then buy it. That's how they operate. Okay? So that's like a mini lesson on how harmonics and AMD actually are cousins. Okay, so I'm going to actually go ahead and share that with y'all and make sure that we are sharing everything here. Been watching the emotions from the meme coins since 2017. The same emotions happen every cycle. Yep, 100%. The first part of the bull run, there's always some like weird projects just showing up and making a whole bunch of kids money. And then the problem is, and this is the thing that I'm trying to fight, is them aping in because of FOMO, right? But anywho, enough of that. This is my Bitcoin setup. I'm a sick beside it. It looks really good to me. But I want to see them break this high first and then slam it. But remember, when they slam it, I want to see them kind of like slow down after they blow out this like 64.5 level and then accumulate and then blow this sell side and then take off. So this is a 12-to-1 trade, no cap. Like I would be shocked if this doesn't play out or something at least in this zone. But let's see, right? It's BTC. Okay, cool. So I want to actually go over a project that you guys have interest in. Go ahead and drop in the chat any requests that you have. I do have the ability to go over stocks, digital currency, Forex, indices, metals, commodities, bonds. I actually could trade anything. It's just a matter of what you guys want to see. So I'll double check in the chats and see what you guys have. In the process, I'm going to answer a question that I got before, if you guys don't mind, which was, did you see ETH coming back down? So, uh, yeah, I'll kind of show you what I have for ETH. In the meanwhile, I do have an ETH. That's the ETH dominance chart. Sheesh. So you're gonna have to bear with me here. I'm gonna have to go ahead and find my ETH chart here. But yeah, go ahead and drop in the chat. Don't hesitate at all. I'm actually literally here. I love the challenge of getting a brand new chart in front of my face live. I eat that ish up. So let me go ahead and find. But yeah, keep in mind, I just shared the news again. I hope you guys can see it. There's a lot of news in the second half of this week. So any sort of run-ups that are happening in the first half, I think they get bodied by the second half of the week. So that's just kind of my opinion on that. Okay, so I did find my ETH chart. I'm going to go ahead and share again. Okay, so I shared this with you guys 2 weeks ago, right? And so like this should actually wake you up as per the potential pattern, or sorry, the potential power of harmonics as well. I mean, this thing is literally following the drawing. The only thing that was a little bit off was I was assuming they were going to get this ish over with by the 1618, and they're kind of lollygagging. So for those of you in Gen Z, lollygagging is just an old school term for they're taking their sweet time, if you haven't heard that before. So the reality is, what I'm expecting is that ETH will kind of stretch out its timeline a little bit. We might push in to as late as June, right? So that would be like the latest I would see this all playing out. But basically what I'm doing here, hopefully you can see everything well, is I'm just trying to give you a mathematical timeline. So around the 20th of May, sell in May, walk away, we should have peaked for ETH, at least in this, in my opinion, in this wave of growth for the asset, right? Now, it doesn't mean it like stops going up, right? It's just showing you that around this zone of 5251.31, we should have a moment of silence, aka there should start possibly a reaccumulation, or we'll go into a mini distribution over the summertime and then roly-poly-oly and make a higher low, right? So I'm just giving you the modest approach to what I think ETH will do. It really doesn't have to stop. One of the things with ETH right now is its connection with a lot of big projects and the trust that's attached to the asset. I wouldn't say that Vitalik Buterin is the reason why people trust ETH. It's more the smart contract technology that is associated with it and has been proven to like kind of support um, other projects, i.e., it has the ability to, even assist in legal matters, right? But particularly the DeFi space. And what I believe ETH is gonna kind of be known for potentially 50 years from now is what it did for creating those like sort of trustless scenarios where I don't even have to believe what you're saying. The contract literally will make sure that I get paid regardless. You dig? It's kind of like, in my opinion, like ETH is kind of like your hitman. It kind of gets your money for you. You know what I mean? So if me and you set up a business and then we have a smart contract, when the money comes in, it's automatically going to distribute, right? Hence the concept of like trustless, um, like banking or trustless business or even trustless legal matters, right? Like you don't even have to trust that your lawyer is on your side. If you have a contract, like a smart contract, it's literally going to make sure that you can actually see, what money came in, protect like potentially from a settlement, and make sure that the actual amount that the lawyer was supposed to get paid gets paid, and you'll be able to see that on a ledger. And that's my understanding. I'm not a cryptographer. I'm just kind of speaking under the side of my mouth from what my understanding is. Cardano does that too with less gas fees. It's just that I feel like Cardano missed the boat not being the first adapter, right? So, like, are there potentially better technologies? Yeah, but it's like that first adopter kind of growth model. Like, it's kind of like, is Apple truly the best technology for a smartphone? No, but they were the innovator, right, in so many different things. So it's kind of like they're always getting that edge on the marketplace, and everybody's still playing catch up, right? So, anywho, with ETH, this is the zone that I personally would love to get back in on. But just so you can see, they've already interacted with the 382. This is already an 886 retracement. They really don't have to come down. And so that's why I was very clear on that call. Like, they don't have to do anything they don't want to do because they already blew this before. But if they were to, then yeah, somewhere between the 50 and the 618 would be the most that I think you would see from ETH. That's my personal opinion. I'm sick and beside it. So I just wanted to bring that back into attention. I don't really have ETH doing anything dramatic, but like if you own ETH, this is dramatic for you, right? It dropping from, the $4,000 range, 3 to 4,000, and then dropping to damn near 2,400 again. That'll hurt you. But if you sold it like I did up here, not to say that that's like a long-term great decision, but I had to diversify into other projects. And so it was a good move for me, taking profit and then coming into alts that were like on the bottom. I was able to kind of recycle my profits, you dig? So this is like the okay, slice and dice. They literally, this should literally, in my opinion, tap this area between here and here and take off. And so again, I'm going to repeat, you want ETH, in my opinion, between 24, like bare minimum 2,200 and then 2,700. If you can get ETH in this $700 range, you'll be laughing because I actually don't think ETH is going to stop here. People are talking about $50,000 ETH. Listen, I heard that last bull run. Uh, yeah, I don't. After what I saw with the NFTs, I don't think that ETH can support $50,000. It had way too many holdups in terms of gas and like network issues. I know we're dealing with ETH 2.0. I think we're supposed to be on 3.0 soon, but I don't perceive that they have it set up, and they're I don't know. That's just my opinion, but I don't think they're ready for that. Could we see $8,000? Sure, maybe, maybe 10. But if they were to get north of 20K, then I'm okay being wrong because that means all my alts are probably up 30x. So I'm okay being wrong. If ETH goes to 20K, my alts are going to 30x. That's the way I'm looking at it. Okay. All right, so I'm going to kind of drop this in the chat. I'll see if we have some requests. I hate ETH. Oh, yeah, the gas fees are ridiculous. Like, honestly, and like, let's talk about that. So, like, I need you guys to understand. I'm going to keep saying this. I think that Solana is going to eclipse ETH. And I don't know who believes me or not, but if Solana can start creating more real world use case, like get off of the meme stuff, like even from a marketing standpoint, because I have that background too. If Solana can like get the meme stuff off of their network and actually just focus on, okay, like taking some of these ETH contracts and using their faster, processing speeds and lower transaction fees to their advantage, they could, like, I don't want to say steal, but they could dominate the industry right now. It's just a superior product, right? It's kind of like, if you know anything about like cars, right? Why would you want a Volkswagen Beetle when you could have an AMG GT? Like if you had the option to have one of the two. And then if they told you that the AMG GT, this guy was a billionaire and he only wants 10 grand for it. Like what the flip? Why would you get the Volkswagen Beetle? And ETH, in my opinion, is the Volkswagen Beetle. I said what I said. All right. So that's my take on ETH. Still no request. Okay. Y'all is being way too polite. Must be Canadians on the call. All right. So let's talk about something newer in the space. Let's actually just do a deep dive since everybody's so quiet. So one of the cool things that you can do, I'm doing my best to make sure that TradingView will show the whole screen, but there's only so much I can do. But basically what you can do is, let's say you trade using KuCoin, for example. You can just select KuCoin and then change it to spot, because that's what we really want to focus on at this time in the bull run, right? And so then after that, what you can do is you can actually just look at what your exchange is offering, right? And it kind of allows you to kind of get rid of all the noise going on CoinGecko and stuff like that. And as I think you really should still do that, it's important to make sure that the asset's even available on your exchange. Okay, so for example, I guess I want to do it already, but yeah, like there's that meme coin whiff that just came out. And it was really, really popular. It went from like 8 cents to like $4 something or whatever. But I wanna kind of address that because I know somebody's gonna watch this maybe right now or maybe like 3 weeks from now, and hopefully you're not aping into that project. But if you already have, and maybe you have a bag on the side, You might want to watch what I'm about to do. All right, cool. So we're going to actually look at Mr. Whiff here. Okay. So this is Dog Whiff Hat. Yes, that's really the name. And this is worth billions of dollars, right? So again, if you don't believe that this is Euphoria, at least Euphoria 1.0, then congratulations, you're part of the exit liquidity. I said what I said, okay? This is the beginning of Euphoria for at least the first half of the bull run. Okay? In terms of memes, not in terms of all the other projects that actually have utility and will probably grow long term. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and drop this in the chat. Kujera? Ha! Yeah, Kuji. The Kuji sweater. We're already in that, brother. I'll go over that. That's light stuff, baby. You usually got a challenge for me, brother. Okay. All right. So that's the beginning of Whiff. Let's go to the monthly and see what Whiff looks like. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious to see that Whiff is super overbought. Let's look at the RSI. They don't even have a monthly RSI. Another sign this is really fresh. Why do they not have a monthly RSI? Let's talk about that. They just started in January, right? So we're on the weekly. No RSI on the weekly. Daily, probably. Okay. All right, cool. So look at the daily RSI, right? Was cooking. But something very interesting is happening right now, right? So the highs are getting lower on the RSI, but the highs in the same time frame are getting higher on the price. This is what is referred to as divergence, right? So what's actually happening right now is market makers are telling you, we are about to wreck you. But if you don't know, we're making it obvious. There's maybe one more pump though, right? But once that pump hits, there's going to be a nasty fall. I'm sure of it right now. And I know that could come back and haunt me and this thing could go to $100 in the next 2 weeks. But I've seen this before and yeah, I can't unsee it. There's going to be a nasty correction. Okay? Remember, this thing went from probably market cap, I don't know, $80,000 to billions. There's going to be a correction. The whales that started this or that got this pump going are going to take their money. Just watch. Okay? So remember, you heard this here first. All right. So now, I might not be the first person to say there's going to be a correction, but I'm telling you, I have not seen anybody actually draw a chart. Everybody's yapping their mouth, but I don't see charts. So it's easy to claim that you said XYZ, but I got receipts. Seriously. I got receipts on everything. All right. So 195, first zone that I'm looking for them to absolutely clobber. So now, what am I doing which is different? I'm looking at the destruction that's going to come. Just wait, watch this, because I can see the whole trade, but I'm doing it slow so that I can get everybody involved with the sauce. Okay? Oh, we're going to get paid, but we're going to get paid after everybody gets greedy. I'm just being honest though, okay? So now, what I want to do right now, because I can see the liquidity, is I also want to play the other side of the game. If I'm a market maker, what do I want to do to induce the highest amount of exit liquidity? AKA, how do I get the most apes to drop their bananas, AKA their hard-earned bread, into this project so that when I get ready to sell, I have enough buyers? Wait a minute. Is there a world? Oh no, you guys, I'm heating up now. Is there a world where market makers pump the price towards the end to exacerbate the problem of euphoria in the mind and cause you to make irrational decisions? Is it almost like these guys are being coached by master trading psychologists? I'm going to just leave it alone. Do your own research because I know the answer. So now, with that being said, Jason, do you see a potential harmonic pattern? Enough of the yapping. Just give us the sauce. I want to get paid, which is what I always hear. That's fine. Be in a rush to get paid. That's what they want. That's what they want. They want you. They want you hyped. Could you take this and buy it up? Sure. Sure you could. But you better cover yourself. That's all I'm going to tell you. I ain't taking this. Maybe $20. That's the only money I put on the line with this. $20 on futures and let this ish ride. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And if it does work, well, catch a couple 100%. But what do I see him doing? I'm showing you what I see him doing. Don't be asking me. Because I'm getting a lot of those messages. Hey, bro, where do I buy meme coins? Where do I buy, dog hat Inu coin, right? Nobody's asking, hey, what projects do you see growing for the next 5 years? Nobody's asking that question. Everybody's asking the fast money questions. So now, Peter, you're my witness. We talked about this. I said this is going to happen, and it's happening. It's actually happening too early. That's the scary part. I said that smart money is going to look to make the buys in October. So that's why we were buying in October, right? Buying a little bit here and there over last summer, right? Can't say that I was perfect visionary and I caught everything at the bottom, but there are some projects where we literally caught them at the bottom. I have a student right now and she's up 998% on a project right now. 998%. It's not like world class, but it's pretty good. But that's because I gave her a limit. I gave everybody in the team a limit order in the summer and it hit. And she just never looked at it. What's the point? This last pump is what ICT refers to as the manipulation phase. So are we about to apply the power of 3 to flipping whiff dog whiff hat? Yes, we are. Right? So why would I even spend time on dog whiff hat? Because I want to make sure that people don't make silly mistakes. Right? So right here, this is what you would refer to as your accumulation phase. Okay? So yes, you could argue, the accumulation happened here, manipulation, and we're destroying. The RSI is telling me that, hey, listen, like the initial pump is kind of over. The divergence is also showing me that. But now we're going into what we would refer to as the potential manipulation. Okay, so we faked the sell, and now we're going to crank against all of those early sellers. And now I have a number, or rather even deeper, I have a zone and a price. Okay, so it's not based on how I feel about dog with hat, or did I say that right? Dog with hat. But it's more importantly about how this potentially impacts your trading. So 3265. Okay, so that's the target of where I would expect this to try to go to. And then this would be the extreme. So somewhere between this zone, if you own this asset, you might want to take partials. Again, you can do what you want to do, but ultimately, I'm just here to show it to you based on like what the math is mathing, right? So could this take a little bit longer? Yeah, let's just be modest and assume that, okay, this pump might take a while going into the halving, right? And then maybe post halving, maybe more attention goes to projects that actually have some utility, right? Or a store of value like BTC. Okay? So I'm not trying to be like the harbinger of, the anti-meme like committee. I'm not. Like I'll make money off these things too. But what I don't want people doing is buying when the daily RSI like is cranking into like the 70s. That's what a lot of influencers are doing right now. One of the things that I gotta just keep saying, I know I keep saying this, man, I can show you how I'll just literally see a new project from an influencer and drop it for my team and be like, yeah, wait until this thing crashes 75%. And then we'll hop in. Like seriously, I've done it a couple of times already, right? New project, da 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 da, and they're promoting the heck out of this project, and I'm like asking in the chat, like, okay, how much are you getting paid to shill this project? Crickets. It's always crickets, right? I think literally one guy ever admitted that he was getting paid. But when I was brand new, I didn't know to ask that question. So I take it personally because you're literally telling people you dropped $5,000 or $1,000 into this project and you're expecting to make 8 figures off of that. But all they're hearing in their head is, okay, let me take my summer money or my income from my job and let me drop the same amount of money, or let me even trump that guy's contribution or that girl's contribution to the project. It's important. Nobody's actually explaining this. So then that person takes their hard-earned money believing that they're making a valiant decision because the person with the 20, 30, 40, 50, maybe 300,000 followers who seems to be living the lifestyle they want is doing it. If I actually just do more than them, I'll be able to accelerate my growth, which is a logical decision. But the part that's not explained, and this is what I want to kind of clear the air on, if you guys don't mind, is oftentimes the money that is being dumped into the project, listen to me carefully, okay, is the money they got or a portion of the money they got by promoting. So if I get 10 bands to promo a project, why do I care if I drop 5 bands into it? All I had to do was make a reel and use some convincing terminology. This is deep, folks. So I'm not even really invested in it. Now, the scary part is when the influencer dumps on their community. And this is happening all over the space right now. The devs, the influencers, they're dumping right after they pump and they show the project. See? All the BTC alerts are going on. So now, what would this look like after that dump? It would look like this, folks, right? And so we have levels, and this looks like catastrophic. If I had a project and it went from, let's say, $80,000 and it's now $4 billion, I'm taking my money, right? Because I don't know if it's going to keep pushing. So I just want to be clear on that. I know I keep talking about it, but at least I'm somebody that's talking about it. I don't know anybody talking about this, about the fact that there's just like an irresponsibility that's happening to fellow human beings who are working really hard to get involved. And I just hope that this message gets spread to people who need to hear it, because I now can say I do know what I'm talking about, and I have lots of verifiable proof of that. But the problem is I don't have the 60,000, 100, 300,000 followers. And it just sucks to watch guys tell people to ape in, even though they would never do it themselves with their own money. That's the scary part. Because if they're as good as they are, they would never buy a project that's already at 14x, ever. Okay, so with that being said, this is what I have for Dog Whiff Hat. And this is my chart. I'm sick and beside it. And so the reality is, when would we want to get involved? Right? Like in terms of spot. Well, we would want to get involved after everybody gets taken out. And I could be wrong. I said it already. I understand there is a potential futures trade here. I've already said that too. But once this is kind of kaput, I believe they're going to wipe everybody out. So let's just say I'm the first person to say this online, and I'm okay if I'm wrong. I actually would prefer to be wrong, but I've seen this before. And there's usually going to be a hard correction after some sort of event, or they'll just run some news and then they'll take everybody out. Like, that's the sad part. They'll just use news. Maybe they'll say, like, I don't know, Doge is, the next new wave, and Doge comes out with a new project, and then all the money leaves all of these little baby Solana meme coins. Okay, so that's kind of like what I would expect, and then I would think it would go further than this, but this is the zone that I personally would, if I was going to buy this on spot, again, at a very limited amount, and I would expect them to accumulate. I think we're going to get a 2021 type summer where we just kind of like accumulate all summer, a little mini bear market. But that's just my personal opinion. For the memes in particular, like, they can't be hot the entire bull run. I mean, they can, but it's not likely. So now, for those who are like kind of into potentially like the futures crowd, and you're looking for a futures opportunity, right? Notice that we bounced at the 382, but we just wicked. There's a potential that they're going to come and grab this FEG right here at 2.4937, and then stop around the 180. So that's what I see. But you also have to have an open mind, right? Like, you have to see what you're possibly not seeing. So literally, I'm going to actually show you rather than tell you. These are the two setups for futures per se that I would look at for our friend Dog with Hat. Peter or Neil, if you could let me know, do they have futures for Dog with Hat or with? So I wouldn't really want to see anything passing this. But yeah, let's see if they have futures for it. Yep. Okay, so they do have futures for it. Okay, awesome. So, like, again, I don't want you to not think that I want you to get paid. I do want you to get paid. I just want you to do it intelligently, right? So, I'm going to actually give you the full Rick Ross sauce on this. 5354. Okay, and then the stop for the first one would be sorry, one. Wait a minute. Sorry about that. Okay, so 1-8. Let's just say 40. Okay. No, that's sorry. Just trying to get this. Okay. Okay, there it is. So one. Okay, perfect. So that's the sort of snipe lower entry. And then this guy here is the 618. So 2.49. And so basically what I'm getting at is I believe that the news this week would be the excuse for all of this happening here. So I'll just make this easy and put it to Ether. Okay, perfect. All right, so that's where I'm looking at two potential entries. So this is right after the close of the FVG. And so basically this guy would just like kind of come up, clip this buy side, similar to what Bitcoin's going to get ready to do, and then come back and grab the sell side. This guy, the interesting thing about this chart is that it literally just needs to come below this line and it's valid. So what I'm going to do for the people that, hey, are not so adamant about being like perfect on their trade, they just want to make sure they get in, I'm going to give you a different entry. And same idea, just leave your stop at 0. It's a spot trade, right? And then same idea in terms of your TP. And this is how you trade meme coins, right? You don't ape at the top. You don't put all your hard-earned money after the thing already went 52x. This is what I'm talking about, right? This is how you literally snipe a meme coin after a crazy pump. Wait for all of this, which is the hardest part about it. Wait for everybody to start bragging. When they start bragging, which is happening right now, watch them and watch just look for when the kind of like shock and awe gets on their face, and you'll see it, because then the influencers will start backpedaling. I'm telling you this in advance because I've seen it, right? Much like Neil was saying, he's seen the emotions over and over again, right? So then the influencers, the Ian Balimas, all of those people, I said what I said, right? Will start backpedaling. Oh, guys, it's just a minor pullback. And then it'll go to like people like getting really angry in chats and threatening lawsuits, and then what happens is the influencers kind of dissipate and they go back into their shells, and then the real traders show up and they go, see, right? So I'm not doing that. I don't want to go see I told you so, because I could be wrong. What I'm saying though is, see, I showed you how to prepare. I want those people to do well, but this is a contingency plan for those that are already aping. However, for those that are playing smart, congratulations. I just literally gave you a strategic guideline for how to come into this bull run off of some of these like very popular meme projects. Now, the last thing that I would show you is if you are a trendline trader, right? Which is okay. It's not necessarily my style, but you already know this is what we would call a rising wedgie, right? AKA a rising wedge. So you know the second this ish breaks down, my brothers and sisters, amen, this thing is gonna fall out of the sky, right? So we're just trying to get a nice little wick entry, right? One of those fake outs. And we're not asking for much. We're just literally saying grab your FPG and then go and have lunch. You dig? But once this thing actually starts breaking and closing on a weekly out of this wedge, oh, this is going to be a short. This short's scary, right? Like up in this zone, this is where you'd want to short. But this, listen, that's a confirmation. If it breaks and retests this, it's gonna bury everybody. And see all these magical lines here? They're not there for decoration. They're there to show you what's gonna happen to all the FOMO traders the second they decide that, okay, the pump's over. So the absolute last bit of energy that I'm going to focus on with regards to Bitmart. Are you saying Bitmart is where you can buy WIF? Let me know what that refers to. Yeah, so basically what would happen here is you could kind of even look at the fractal here, and I can kind of show you what this might look like, right? So literally the market is just constantly repeating itself. And so it would kind of look like something like this. So like, I mean, it could just bounce off the 382 if it can't break out of this wedge. But this reminds me, you know what this chart reminds me of? Luna. This is exactly what Luna looked like in the kind of, not summer, but I would say, yeah, like the late fallish of 2021. I think it was then. And I sold Luna, and the thing, like, I wish I never closed that trade. It ended up being 1,000,000% in terms of my calculation. This is what Luna looked. It was just like a forever pump, and then it started diverging on all time frames, and I was like, I just kind of put myself out there with the team. I'm like, I just have to trust the setup, and I took the trade, and it slapped. It just fell out of the sky, and it was the same thing. Once it fell below the wedge, because that's all I knew at the time, I just shorted it, and it never came back. Like, it literally just hit and it just fell. It was so hard, like vertical drop. So that's all it takes. It just takes like something coming out about a dev. Maybe, you know, conveniently one of the devs gets caught money laundering or something. Like, they'll just run some news, and then they'll hide all their money in offshore accounts and, you know, ghost accounts. And the point of what I'm getting at is the majority of people who are buying this right now are going to get wrecked. And I just want everybody under the sound of my voice to repeat after me. I will not do dumb stuff in my trading, and I will wait until the opportunities come to me. So I've given you literally 4 zones that make sense. They're not like making sense based on your feelings, because feelings right now are saying, oh my God, I'm going to miss it. But they make sense in terms of math, and they make sense in terms of ICT grabbing imbalances before we start aping into projects. Okay, so the last thing that I'm going to say is these buys are only active until this time. Don't take this buy in August. It doesn't correlate to the harmonic pattern. These buys are honestly like valid after this time, because it could literally like go boom, boom, and go vertical down. Like once they hit this number, the pattern's done. Okay, I don't have the time to explain why, right? That's kind of like what I would do in terms of my mentorship. But just understand that once this gets here, the pattern's done. It's a wrap, right? And all of these TP here, but realistically, if it hits this D pointer here, that's when this thing is gonna fly. That's when you get the next set of possible 5 or 10x returns, but I can't guarantee that because we're on a recorded call. All right, cool. But just know that in extensions, this thing is gonna fly. But after they wreck everybody. And in Elliott Wave, it needs to make a deep retracement, and it hasn't done it. It's not done. Trust me, folks, this is not done retracing. It can go up, but when this thing crashes, it's going to be nasty. And that's when we want to get in. All right. Any questions on dog with hat? I had to like pronounce that whole thing. So that's literally dog with hat. I'm literally sending this to my team right now. They're probably going to look at me weird, but it is, trading is all about, you know, kind of turning your mind off sometimes and getting involved based on what the setup says, not based on what your feelings say, right? So that's dog with hat, done and done like dinner. So I'm going to go ahead and share that with the team. And then we'll go ahead and look at, okay, so WIF futures is on Bitmart. Okay, bet. So that's WIF, done like dinner. And then we'll look at Kujera. And then, yeah, we should be good to go. Okay, cool. So Kuji, my brand new Kuji sweater, where are you at? Okay, so now, okay, so I just gotta find my Kuji chart here. Just give me a moment. Kuji. Okay, perfect. Okay, so Kuji is open. And so if you see here with Kuji, I have 2 scenarios for Kuji. One is actually happening right now. So this is the bullish scenario. So the bullish scenario is Kuji holds this level and it flies, right? I have Kuji up, like ideally running up to $19.78. Could it go higher than that? Sure, but I mean that's what I'd be okay with talking about from the perspective of the information that I have right now. And then the timeline of that pump, it's going to be a lot more passive than it was initially planned. I thought it was going to be more of a parabolic asset, like um, like Jasmine. I'm pretty sure that Kujera is a Japanese project. And so some of the regulations have kind of eased up to my understanding in Japan. Um, and so like a lot of the youth there are looking for the ability to trade digital currency. And with the weakening economy there, it's kind of a good pastime for them at least. I don't know if it's gonna kind of save the economy and the fiat system, but yeah, there's kind of like, in my opinion, that's let me just stay out of the economics of it. So I'll kind of get rid of all this extra stuff. But yeah, so I already had a buy for Kujera, and it's like literally there right now. So that's the bullish scenario. The bearish scenario is that Kujera comes to my lower entry, and that's where it kind of just does the same thing where it just wipes everybody out from wave one and then goes long. But it's literally in my entry. That's why when you said that, I was like, oh, I already know that project. Okay, so I'm just kind of copying the TP here and making sure that it translates. So that's pretty much what I have for Kujera. It's kind of like, it's very simple to me what they're doing. Like they're just finishing wave one. And then the key thing with Elliott waves is knowing like this key thing. The first wave is usually a deep retracement, right? And so have we accomplished that? Well, we'll kind of dive in here and give a little bit more sauce. Like, again, Peter, even though he's in the VIP, he comes on these calls religiously, which I love. But you're also my witness. There were lots of liquidity sweeps I was waiting for. I've been watching Kujera for 4 months because it took off without me. So imagine I've been waiting for this, Neil, for 4 months, right? And so all I wanted to see was the minimum interaction with the 618. Maximum would it be like there's like a last imbalance down here. So just to be clear, how would I actually approach this? I'd probably DCA right now. And then if you get the lower entry, that's how I ape. I ape when I get the lower entry. And so what happens is you get a better weighted average price by getting in and adding more when it's like at your sort of snipe setup. So that's my approach to Kuji. It's literally doing everything it should do. Gonna kind of just check and see. Yeah, so it's pretty much done everything it should have done. And so now this is like the clean version of the chart without all the extra hot sauce. But I also like to give my team projections. Like this is just, it sounds weird saying this, but this is just 8x. But that should be like literally normal at this phase in the bull run, not, 3 months before the top. Like 3 months before cycle top, you should be looking at how you're going to get out. Right? And you don't want to be in a scenario where you're trying to get out with everybody else. So that's like kind of a whole other conversation. But if you do get the lower entry, here's the power of like aping in when everybody's panicking. Let me explain. So if you were to, let's say, potentially get involved with the 30% allotment right now and get involved with the 70% allotment at the lower entry, right? Look at the difference in the rate of return at the bottom. This is why it pays to be patient, especially with spot trading. It's just that there's two harmonic patterns happening at the same time. So there's a cipher pattern and a shark pattern happening at the same exact time. So the reason why I have the two different entries is I'm not sure which one they're respecting. Because they've hit the 618, they don't actually have to go lower, right? Elliott wave tells you that that first wave should be deep, and pretty much anything like south of the 618 on a buy is considered in this category. Ideally, obviously 786 and below. So that's my take on Kuji, the Kuji sweater. But just know that if you get the lower entry, just mathematically speaking, it's 24.8x. I mean, that should be good, right? So just wanted to bring that to your attention. And then I think with that, we're going to check the chat here. So basically, just so we're 100% clear, I'm still on like Donkey Kong in terms of what we're doing in this space on the Sunday calls. I'm very much committed to the Sunday calls. TradingView just alerted me a little while ago that they're changing from the stream service. And then so what I'm going to be doing is still in my free Telegram. I'm going to continually keep dropping like welcomes to the calls on Sunday, and you'll be able to join from whether it's Twitch or whether it's YouTube or Zoom, and kind of get access to me every Sunday for at least an hour. It's usually about an hour and a half, sometimes even two. But with that being said, folks, I really appreciate you. You can reach out to me on Instagram at I like big, so BIG, Pipz, PIPZ or Z. And then the same thing applies on Telegram. It's I like big Pipz on Telegram. And what I'll do is I'll just drop, actually it's already attached in my TradingView. I don't want them to try to block me. But basically just understand that I'm here for you. If you're looking for mentorship and you're looking for support beyond what you've seen, if you like what you saw, reach out to me. And also be kind enough to share this link with a friend. It is going to be saved for a while on TradingView, but particularly those that you know that are aping into meme coins, please share this with them. And yeah, without further ado, like, share, and follow. I appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your weekend, okay? Trade smart. Peace.